Oh shit, back with a vengeance. It's the Gronch emote tier list number 2. This time with a bit of a twist, we're going to be doing who would win in a fight. So it's more of their power level compared to last time, which is more just like a pure popularity contest. All your favorite emotes are making an appearance, from Kripega to Wamamia, Shatter Mountains even make an appearance, reigning champion Coldface, and we even got some of the GIF emotes making their first ever appearance into the tier list. So I'm going to be going through these in random order, just like last time. But I actually want to start with the first two emotes here, the plus 22 and the negative 25. So around these parts, we like to deal in absolutes, which just means the 25 is going to be better than the 22. What do I think these have a high power level? I mean, when I see these in a Dota lobby, they make me feel either extremely happy when I see the plus 22, I'd rather this be a 25, or extremely like anxious and bad if I see the negative 25. So they definitely have like some control over my emotions. Personally, I'd probably put them in the C tier. Like, they're not going to be beating up like an actual human being probably. So I'd either say C or D tier, but let's leave them in C for now. And now we got this Chad. What's his fucking name? Let me see here. It is Chad Yagu. Now, as you can see, this guy doesn't even have a neck. He doesn't have a torso. He's just head and muscles. He's like a fucking machine built for fighting. I can't give this guy anything less than an A. I don't know who he is or what he's from, but he's just like, if I saw this in a dark alleyway, I'd be fucking terrified. I would turn the other way. I would sprint. I would not just let this guy get within like elite, like 10 feet of me. You beat the fucking shit out of anybody. He's going to be a hard champion to top here. How about next we go for Coldface? He made it really deep last time, but how does he stack up when it comes into fighting? I like to think Coldface is like a frost elemental. Like, that's how he is cursed, because no one can stay blue for this long without dying. And he's clearly very alive in this picture, unless he's frozen solid. But I like to think he's a frost elemental. With magic on his side, I would definitely give him at least an A. He's a magical being. Would he beat Chad Yagu in a pure brawn versus brawn fight? I would say no. But I really, Coldface is a bit of a wild card. I don't know what he's able to do. Yeah. So next we have Kermit with a gun. No, he has a fucking gun, so he's automatically S tier. I don't know if there's anything else to really say. If Chad Yago walked up to Kermit, he'd get fucking gunned down in the street. He'd probably get lowered all the way back to F tier. But yeah, there's not much you can do against a gun. It is what it is, right? Got Shaq sleeping, I sleep emote. I don't know, like, Shaquille O'Neal's getting pretty old now. But this is from a picture from a few years ago. He's pretty hard. He's a pretty big guy. He probably beat the shit out of most people. I would put him one step below these magical creatures probably, but he's still pretty up there. Absolute 40. Now, I don't know what you guys think of when you see this emote, but to me, he's like a god man. You can't really tell his power just from this emote, but he has glowing eyes and glowing hands. So in my imagination, he's enchanted himself with some sort of godlike energy, which could propel him into extreme power, maybe even beyond Kermit. But who knows? Because I've never seen his power unfolded. For now, I'm going to leave him in the high A tier, as I think the supreme being of Absolute 40 could beat Chad Yagu. It could beat the Frost Elemental. And yeah. Next up, we have Adaptive Consent. Now this guy, he has the two arms crossed, so he's in more of a defensive maneuver. But I would be scared to see this guy in a fight for sure. He's gigantic. He's not of this world. He's a defensive machine. I think he's firmly in the B tier. I think Shaq could probably get him. I think our Coldface Frost Elemental would definitely get him. Chad Yagu. No real chance, unfortunately, but yeah. Next up, let's go for Bill. Now, Bald Bill, you know this guy knows karate. He's monk mode. He at least knows karate. Probably at least two other fucking martial arts. Uh, he's gonna be beating adaptive consent for sure. Probably still below Shaq's. I'm sorry, Bill. I don't believe in your abilities to beat Shaq, but still a definitely a respectable rating. Just shaving your head gets you all the way to B tier. It's pretty good. Speaking of shaved heads, uh, Lucas with the shaved head, I would say he's more of a disciple. I don't know if he's a full kung fu master like Bill is, just based on factors that are out of his control. But he's not too far behind. I think they're relatively equal. Maybe one day he'll surpass his master, but for now it's cemented like this. Next up is O Retard O. Now, this is not the most threatening version of Matthew that's on this list. There's definitely some ones that I would be more scared of than this one to take in a fight. And for that reason, I had got to give him a C tier. He's just a human. In fact, he's in this picture, he doesn't look like a very threatening human at all. Do I think he's better or worse than the Dota numbers? He could be in between them, like he's sandwiched between the MMRs. I like the way that's looking, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, Matthew with a clown face, on the other hand. Now, if I saw this in a dark alleyway, it would scare the absolute bejesus out of me. I think most people at this point in their lives have phobias of clowns. So I couldn't give this anything less than a B tier, I believe. Could he beat the monk duo in a fight? I don't think he could, but unless he has the typing advantage because they're scared of him and they're running away. But we would have to see how that plays out in the actual arena. We can't theory craft that. So for now, I'll just leave him cemented in the B tier. Next up, let's go for my emote here, which is called Good Job. Again, I don't think I have any supernatural powers or anything. I'm not a monk. I'm not a clown. So I'd probably give myself around O Retardo. I think I'm more threatening than... I think this picture is more threatening than this picture, so I have to at least give me a little bit of an edge on that, but not too far. I'm probably at the top of the C tier here. Now we're going into... what is this emote called? Chad Ross. Oof, that jawline, that beard definition, that yellow hair glued into place, pointing like a fucking frisbee on the top of his head. I would be terrified if I saw this, if I had to fight this guy. Definitely beating the Monk twins. Definitely beating Shaq. Probably not beating the Frost Elemental, so I'll leave him right there for now. Very scary though. Feels Dom man. Like, look at how punchable this guy's face is. I wouldn't give him D tier. I'll probably put him below O Retardo. Because, you know, retards have retard strength. If you guys didn't know. Feels Dom man doesn't have retard strength. Honestly, for that fact, maybe O Retardo goes above me. Because I don't have retard strength either. At least I don't think so. But yeah. Let's do fucking... what is this called? Is it called Dr. Evil? It's called Dr. Evil. This is one of the worst emotes on this list. But we're not doing a popularity list. This is based on their power level. And the power level of Dr. Evil is actually pretty high. Again, he's like a ball of hair with a face drawn on him. It really grosses me out. I don't know what it's from. It makes me very uncomfortable to look at this image. But, he is a supernatural being. I would have to give him the advantage over Shaq. But I think he gets destroyed by the Chad Ross. I think Chad Ross stomps his ass into the ground. Next up is Shatter Mountain. Now this is kind of like the immovable force, or the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. This Shatter Mountain is full defense, zero offense, which I think is a decent strategy because I don't think most of these things could kill a mountain. Can I put this in S tier? It's really difficult because it has no way of killing or being killed. It is just a structure. I don't know if there's anything on this list that can actually deal a kill shot. So I think it automatically must be an S tier. It will kill you just by being alive. It'll just outlive you. It'll ignore your existence and continue to be Shatter Mountain forever, basically. So edited. Ooh, edited is an F tier. Like, any editors in chat are going to be cringy Reddit mods and Discord mods. They're not going to be up for the fight. They don't have what it takes. Definitely can't even beat the plus 22. Yeah, all these people would kick the shit out of it, including myself. Even Feels Dom mad would kick the shit out of a Discord editor. So next up is, I believe this is called Adaptive Consent. Now, again, he's a terrifying man. If you saw him in an alleyway, you'd run the other fucking way. Does he beat the Monk Twins? I would say probably yes, but not by much. I think I'll put him in the top of the B tier. You don't see the full mast of Adaptive Consent, or what's his name? Yeah, Adaptive Consent. So if I saw his full physique, he might get higher, but just based on what I can see, I can't give him more than a B. Oh, Get Browned. Mr. Brown making his second appearance in the tier list. Man, I'm not going to lie. This guy scares the absolute bejeebus out of me. He's eyeing me up the whole time. I was thinking about putting him first again, but, like, I couldn't do it. I would not fight this guy. I would refuse, although I don't think he's that scary. I think the bald boys could definitely take care of him. I think the clown probably couldn't. I don't think the clown has what it takes to take out Got Browned. And that's just the pure fact of the matter. Now, let's get through some of the Ross emotes because there's so fucking many. This one, it's called Pimp. What is it called? Pimp Slap. Yeah, he's pimp slapping. I am scared of this guy. You don't see what's behind his eyes. It could be anything. He's really mysterious. He could either be a gentle-hearted kitten, as they say, or he could be a cold-blooded, vicious murderer villain that would kill everybody he lays his eyes on. And for that reason, I got to put him above Shaq. Especially because like Shaq's sleeping. This is something I haven't mentioned yet. Like Shaq's literally sleeping, so most of these people could take him off guard to begin with. Next up, Crepandrew. What's it called? Papandrew? I don't know what this is. It's from either some cartoon or some anime, but I don't know what it is or what it does. To me, it looks very horrifying, but I'm not sure what its capabilities would be. So for that reason, I'll just put it... So I think I called this one the wrong name before. This one's Apprehended Consent. This one's Adaptive Consent. So, but Papandrew goes above Apprehended Consent. 7 minutes? Come on. This guy has got to be one of the least threatening images on this emoji tier list. He's just a regular fucking anime dweeb. No way he's beating me. He could be beating Feels Dom, man, so I'll leave him there. He doesn't have the retarded strength. Next up is Bruh. So this guy's made of like stone, I think, or plastic. He could be a fucking menace to deal with. I would say he definitely beats Pimp Slap, probably beats Dr. Evil. I think Chad would smash him into a billion pieces, so I'll just leave him right there. Next up, let's do Luke Sus. Man, this guy is so fucking menacing. You don't know what's under the mask. He literally could be an imposter. Honestly, we have every intention to believe he's an imposter. Just based on the fact that he looks so much like fucking Lucas, but is not Lucas. If you guys remember the video of the seesaw, or whatever he was on. So for that reason, he definitely beats the Ball Brothers. Adaptive Consent. He beats Shaq just based on the sheer fear factor of it. And he probably lives somewhere around the Pimp Slap area. Next up, one of my favorite emotes, absolute chef's kiss on this one, is Cunt. Matthew staring you dead in the fucking soul. He's good. You don't know what's in his hands. You just see his emotion. And if anybody looked at me like this, I would immediately shit my pants. This is one of the most terrifying looks you could possibly give someone. It's higher than the Chad. It's higher than the fucking cold face. It's higher than Chad Yagu. It's probably not as crazy as Absolute 40. And I would give him higher than Kermit, but Kermit has a fucking gun, as I've stated before. So, next up is Perhaps. So Perhaps is very similar to Pimp Slap, although we don't see him pimp slapping. So for that reason, I have to dock it probably at least a full letter grade. I don't think this is as scary as Papandrew. I think it's less scary than Apprehended Consent. So I'll probably put it at the end of the B tier here. Krapega, ooh, this is a tough one to rank because it is so fucking janky. It's swirled out. The eyes are bulging. I don't know if this guy has a high power level, but he's freaky as fuck. I think he's probably around the retard rank, so I'll leave him around there. I don't, if he has some combat prowess, I would love to see it, but for now, I can't give him more than a C+, so I'll just leave him there. Trap card. Ooh. Now, this has an element of magic to it, so I can't give it less than an A. You don't know what this guy has the power of doing. He could fucking sentence you to life in hell. He could prison trap you. What are some good Yu-Gi-Oh cards? He can Pot of Greed you to draw 3 cards. I'd be scared as fuck to play this guy. And, or to fight him, I guess. He'd beat the shit out of me both in real life and in Yu-Gi-Oh! And for that reason, I'll give him above Coldface. And above Chad Yagu. And above Cunt. He is the 4th place champion right now, as it stands. Next up, we have Omega Chris. Now, I feel like this guy could eat my whole head in one bite, which scares the absolute shit out of me. I have to put him above Retard Strength. I have to put him above, what the hell's the name of this emote? Perhaps. Apprehended Consent. Oh, I probably put him cementally in the B tier here. Maybe right below Got Browned. Next up is Cringe. So Cringe, let's be honest here. We could all beat the shit up out of this cringing guy right here. He's got to be a D tier. I wouldn't give him F. I wouldn't do my boy dirty like that, but I think he's a D tier. That on the other hand, we got the Backpack Monster. The name of this emo is God Bless. Look how much weight this man is carrying at once. It's just a demonstration of raw skill. He's really spitting in the face of a lot of these heroes that, like, Shaq could never carry that much. Luke Sus could never carry that much. He's probably around the Dr. Evil thresh point. Maybe he lacks the mysterious factor, so he's below Pimp Slap. Next up, we got Linus Kappa. Come on, bruh. Feels Dawn Man could beat the shit out of Linus. I think even Cringe could beat the shit out of Linus. So Linus gets a low D tier. Next up is I'm White. Ooh, who knows about this guy? He has so many different avenues of power. He could be a Trump supporter. He could be a white supremacist. And I think that at least gives you a full letter rank. I'd probably put him around here. He gets a full letter rank just for the potential power outlets he could have. I think he goes above Papandrew, below Ross as a clown, because this one's too good. Next up is Gronch Lad. This one makes me uncomfortable to look at. This emote's very disgusting. I really just hate it. But at the same time, you can't deny that it's extremely powerful. It has like the essence of corruption. Like he has the double eyes. He looks like a monster out of a Greek mythology book or something. So I have to put him over the wax statue, probably even above Chad Ross, but I think he can't go above the cold elemental. This is one of the checkpoint bosses here. If you're above this point, then you really terrify me. Next up, we have Ojama Vor. I think it's called Vorjama. And yeah, he looks really unassuming, but he'll eat the fuck out of you because he's a Vor guy, right? That being said, I really don't think Ojama Lime or whatever this guy is that scary. He's definitely no Ojama Scout, or Ojama Orange or anything like that. He's a pretty low tier Ojama, but he's still a Vor, man. So if he does beat you, he'll fucking eat you alive. And for that reason, I think I have to give him an A tier. A tier is getting a little bloated, but I think it's just the way the cookie crumbles. I don't think he has quite the mystery factor of Pimp Slap, so I'll put him right in the top of A tier. Next is Mork. Look how fucking mad this guy is. If you guys don't know, being angry in fights gives you at least 25% more damage. So he beats the shit out of Retard Strength because he just has the anger. Retard Strength doesn't have anger. I would say he even beats perhaps Apprehended Consent, Pipandrew. What's the guy called? I'm White. Clown Face. He probably ends up around the Doctor or the Got Brown threshold here. Next up is Gary. Now Gary, I could kick the shit out of this frog, and I would. I would punt him down the fucking road. He's an F tier. Definitely better than Edited. Doesn't get much worse than Edited. Like that's some low T shit. But yeah, that's Gary's ranking. Next up, we have Existence is Pain. Now this is a trash bag fish. It's a fish in a trash bag. I actually think this is someone's hand, but still. Again, I could kick the absolute shit out of this fucking monstrosity. There's nothing it would do to fight me. I'm not scared of it in the slightest, so it goes in F tier. Now let's get through some of the anime emotes here. There's so fucking many. So this one is called Suck Suck. Again, another F tier. I think this might be... I would give this bottom of the F tier because this one at least has poison factor. Actually, in fact, it's so poisonous that it might bump it up above Linus. Just because when I do punt it down the street, it might poison me. And for that reason, I'll give it a low D. But Suck Suck is definitely like bottom F tier. Still above Edited because it doesn't get worse than that, but still. Next up is The Gay. It's basically like this, but an anime version. You never know, because in anime, sometimes these cute little girls are 4,000-year-old vampires that can kill you with a beam instantly from anywhere across the world. So for that, I can't give it a super low rating, just for the fact that it might be from an anime where she does have those powers. So I'll have to put it at least around the B tier mark, probably below the clown. Next up, the last of these Shrek emotes, Approved Consent. This is the most flamboyant of the Shreks, for sure. And it's also the weakest. So we have Approved Consent, Adaptive Consent, Apprehended Consent, and then this is the lowest of them. I would say it's a full letter grade lower than Apprehended Consent. So I would put it probably above 22, probably above Feels Dom Man, probably above 7 minutes, but not above minus 25 MMR. Next up is I Don't Give a Fuck. Now, he looks like a normal man, but he's giving you the fucking bird. He doesn't look that angry, but he looks like he could fuck you up at any moment. So I don't think he's quite at the Mark level, but he's probably not in C tier with the retard strength. So I'll have to give him probably around here between Papandrew and Apprehended Consent. Next we have Sick Kids, the third of the Bald Boy trilogy. I think he's probably, just based on these images, he's probably the weakest power level, but again, he's the youngest. He's still in training. One day he could surpass his older brother and his master, but that's not today. So right now we'll just leave him here. Next up we have Vibing. Come on, bro. You're not fighting when you're vibing, so I have to give him a pretty low rating here. I think he's definitely in the D tier, around the cringe mark, probably above cringe. So I'll just put him here because I think this guy, you never know. He could wake up on the right side of the bed while he's vibing, and be ready in a fighting mood, or he could be completely asleep. Who knows? Speaking of sleeping, we got Residad Sleeper. Now this guy has dad strength. Can't underestimate that, which I think goes above Got Browned, probably around this area. It's pretty scary. This is another threshold here. The triplets. It doesn't get much harder than that, other than A and S tier. Next up, we have the Gronch himself. Holy shit. Now, this is a monster. This guy has so many superpowers that it's hard to count. He can turn your heart 3 times bigger in one day. I gotta give him above trap card, above absolute 40. I don't think he has demonstrated enough skill to quite break it into the S tier, but he's close. He's very close. But for now, I'm comfortable putting him in the top of the A tier. Next up is Sad Sen. Now, I have no idea what this emote's from. It's clearly from an emote or an anime. I actually thought it was something spelled backwards, so I Googled it backward, and let's just say I got some interesting Google search results. Yeah. So this one is just a generic anime guy. I'll give him higher than 7 minutes, but I can't give him that much higher. He's probably around the same mark. Next up is Ojama Lol. Now, again, this is not the scariest Ojama. He's no Ojama Scout, so I can't give him an S tier. But I'll put him firmly in the C tier above the anime emotes. Next up, we have N underscore. Now, if you guys know what N underscore means, then you'll know that this emoji has a ton of power. He's definitely a magic man, a magic word, some might say. With the power to incite violence in anybody it's said to. So above absolute 40, I think, is a pretty good place for him. And then after that, we had Fuck Me, which, holy shit, this is one of the most intimidating photographs man has ever taken. Definitely above Mork, definitely above God Brown, definitely above Dad Strength. Ooh, the monk triplets. He might be around here, man. He might break up the triplets. I hate to say it, but it's true. And then we have just default Kermit. Default Kermit is not as scary as Gun Kermit because, you know, he doesn't have a fucking gun. In fact, he's one of the least threatening things on here. He's even least threatening than a poisonous frog. Definitely less threatening than Lioness, putting him in the F tier. Right around here, actually. He's probably less threatening than a fish as well. Next up, we have the Condoms emote. Now, this is a bit of a Giga Soy moment. Definitely around the cringe area of the tier list. Do I think Soy beats cringe? I don't think it does. I think it's weaker than cringe. So I'll put it right there. Then we have Hail Satan. Now, if you look closely, you can see that he has red eyes in this picture. I don't know if this works, but we'll see. Yeah, he's definitely possessed. I'm fucking scared of this guy. So as you can see in this image, he's hiding his eyes, so you don't know what his power level's like. In this one, you can firmly see that he's possessed by the devil, putting him probably around the same place as Cunt. He's not quite giving you the same devilish look as he is in Cunt, but he's giving you a very similar look. Then we have XD. Now, this guy is just having a great time. He's smiling from ear to ear. But, you know, he's not that intimidating. So he's definitely in the C tier. Around me, around my emote. Somewhere here. Take it or leave it. Then we have Questionable Thinking. Now, this has a black person's hand cemented onto the image, as you can see. Making it one of the weirdest emotes on the list, in my opinion. One of the most surrealist ones. I definitely think it has magical properties, but not very strong ones. Not ones that give it combat. So I think it'll probably be around below the Monk Brothers, below the Dad Strength, probably right below Mork, right here. And then we have Wamamia, another gun emote. Top of the S tier. This guy is frightening as shit. It's Matthew with a gun pointing right at you. It looks just like the "so I just started blasting" meme. So he's gonna blast the absolute fuck out of you. Just ignore the orange part here. Just straight ignore that, please. And that was all of the normal emotes. So we still have some GIF emotes to go through. These are more of an honorable mention. I don't think they're definitely part of the base lore, but they're added on top, right? So the first one we have is Angelic. And if you guys have seen this animation, you know it's going in the S tier. I feel bad putting it at the top of the S tier, even though that's where it might belong, because, you know, Kevin's the only one with access to these emotes, so he can't even fucking use them. So it's a little bit sad, but I think it might be the highest power level emote that we have on the server. There's also another one here called Ninja, which is Lucas dressed up as a ninja. You know, pretty basic, pretty decent. I'd probably put that above the Chad Yagu because it just scares the hell out of me. But we also have this emote called Squad, where it's like 7 fucking Lucas ninjas. So this is another S tier emote, probably below Shatter Mountain. But still, I actually thought this was like a tugboat emote or something the first time I saw it. But like, yeah, I'll play the GIF here. It's Lucas, like 7 Lucases pumping up at once. Or I think it might be even more than 7. Next up, we have one called 28A. It's another frog. It's got to be an F tier, probably around Kermit. I think it's less or more scary than Kermit, but not as scary as the fish. Then we have the Boxman. Ooh. I think I could beat the shit out of Boxman. Let's be honest here. I think Feels Dom Man could probably beat the shit out of him too. So I'll put him right here. Then we have the Knuckles, Ugandan Knuckles, fucking a Ugandan Sonic. I'm not really scared of these guys. They're really small in game. You could probably punt them around. But they're definitely hectic. They're really fast. They run around. So I can't put them quite in F tier. I'll probably put them above Linus. Probably put them above the Poisonous Frog. But I'm not going to put them above the Soy Jack face here. Krepega being petted. Just basically a less threatening version of Krepega. It's like Krepega but good ending, where he chooses to live his life in normalcy as a handheld pet. So I can't put him in C. I'll definitely keep him in D, probably around here, right above Linus. And then we have Moon Man. Moon Man scares basically everybody, including minorities mostly. I would definitely put him in the A tier, probably around under Chad Ross. And that's the last emote. This is the final power rating. So let me do a quick once over to see if there's anything that needs to be changed. But no, I think this is good. This is the final power ranking of every emote in the Gronch emote list. So yeah, if you have any objections, you can shove them right up your ass, because this is the definitive list. You can make your own, but no one will fucking watch it because this is the best list. And yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.